Hi there, everybody. It's Thorpian, and today we're going to deviate from my usual content because I had another friend tell me that they shouldn't take a raise because it would move them to a new tax bracket. And I wanted to help other people with this very common misconception of how US income taxes work. And I figured, what's a simpler way to explain something than with Minecraft? So let's get started. So to start out, I've drawn out here kind of what you get when you Google income brackets. You get some version of this thing with dollar signs and percentages that are matched up, and obviously these aren't real numbers. So when you check your own income, most people will, find their income. They'll say, oh, I'm between these two numbers, and that's between these two numbers. So therefore, I'm over this line, and my tax percent is this. So for example, let's say I make $30,000, right? Here comes my money. Boom, it's in my wallet now. You can see all that beautiful, beautiful cash. And now the tax man cometh. And oh no, 10% is gone because I'm over the 10% line. Now, what happens if, say, I make $50,000? Well, I get some more money, and now I'm over the 20% line. So once it's taxed, that's 20% of everything, right? And if I make $70,000, then that puts me over the 30% line. And that's 30% of everything. If I make $90,000, that puts me over this 40% line. And I'm going to get 40% of everything taxed. Of course, it makes sense not to take promotions and there's math and all this stuff in this case, but the US income tax system doesn't work like that. It's not one big bucket. It's how I like to think of it, with lines that once you cross over the line, the whole bucket gets affected. It's like smaller buckets. So let's go and take a look at this other way of thinking about it. Okay, so here I've set it up in such a way that you can really see what these different small buckets look like and how they work. So if you'll notice on the right side, we got the exact same things, the exact same money amounts. And on this side, we've set up our percentages so that you can see which bucket they're talking about. So for example, let's say I make $20,000. This $20,000 is going to come up and fall into my beautiful bucket here. Now, this is actually going to fall into what I have set up as the 0% bucket. So this is everything that's under the 10% line on the other side. So if we tax that, nothing happens. But then let's say we make $30,000. So we added another $10,000 and now we're above that 10% line. Well, yes and no, because what actually is going to happen is we're going to get taxed for everything inside that second bucket at 10%. But the bottom bucket stays exactly the same. It's still the 0% bucket. So let's say we get some more money. My boss comes in, he says, here's another $20,000. You're doing a great job, Thorpian. And then we're going to have to pay tax on that, right? Well, now we're above the 20% line, but you'll see inside this 20% bucket, we get taxed at that amount, the 20%. But in that 10% bucket, we're still getting taxed, but only at 10%. So once we've filled up to this number, then we get into a new tax bracket, but only the income above that number gets taxed at the new bracket amount. So let's see what it looks like with $70,000. We tax and boom, same idea. Everything above this amount gets taxed at the new bracket percent. But everything below that amount is still taxed for the bracket below. And finally, $90,000, we tax it and we see that again, everything above this amount or inside this new bracket or bucket gets taxed at the new percent, whereas everything else remains taxed at the amount of the bucket. So you'll see that this is actually a huge difference when we compare it to the other way of thinking about it, or the wrong way. That's it, guys. That's how US income tax works in less than 5 minutes using something as simple as Minecraft. If you like this video, please leave me a like, and you can subscribe to my channel. It's free, unlike taxes.